Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Animaking 3. And I'm here with something new for you guys to enjoy. What if Naruto was created by Mother Nature to protect the universe, guys? Place your feet up, sit back and relax, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. And don't forget to go ahead and check out the brand new series over on Anime King of What If Naruto Was a flowing jutsu and genjutsu prodigy with a mysterious bloodline, guys. And enjoy that. And remember, for new, yes, I need 4 channels, which I post what if on every single day for you guys to enjoy. So go ahead and smash that red subscribe button and become a part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all for helping your support. So without further ado or wasting more time, what do you say we jump right into this brand new episode? Begin now, guys. We begin this new episode with 2 entities arguing. Their voices, beyond what any normal human could comprehend or understand. Their bodies could not be viewed in a physical form. All it was seen as was raw power. Yes, raw, great, uncontrollable power. As both entities were arguing with one another, there was something going on. Something big. And at the end of the argument, one of these entities would do something that would forever change the universe as it is. As said entity vanished, meanwhile, on a small little planet where ninjas reside, it was known as the Elemental Nations. Great powerful forces was at work that will forever change everything. And it started with this woman. Blonde hair, brown eyes. She wasn't happy. Her life had been miserable so far. She had went through a lot. She lost her entire clan. She lost her younger brother. She lost the love of her life. So why shouldn't she be miserable? However, despite that she wasn't alone, she was with her faithful assistant, Shizune. The woman in question is known as Tsunade Senju, the last known Senju of the Senju clan. Despite her youthful appearance, she was actually getting up there in her age. And at times like these, she was saddened that she didn't have a child. A much larger family. While she saw Shizune as her family, she wanted a child of her own. Someone to raise, someone to nurture. However, the man that she loved and wanted to have a child with was gone. And to conceive with anyone else seemed like she was disrespecting his memory. Yes, she knew that wasn't the case, but that is just how she felt. The love that she and Dan had was something that you only get once in a lifetime. She doubted that it would ever happen again. She glanced up towards the heavens, in the remote area that she was in, as she prayed to any deity that was out there listening to her, to give her something more. She wanted something more in this life. She needed something more. However, after that, she knew that she should know better. Things doesn't just happen. So with that, she made her way back towards the house that she was staying in. That is when she heard something. She snapped her gaze up towards the dark sky. Strangely enough, the sky was clear a moment ago, but now, dark clouds started to gather out of nowhere, surprising her. She was confused by this rapid change in weather. When she heard Tsunade-sama, she turned to see Shizune, who came outside, who was also surprised by the rapid change in weather as well as she heard the thunder. As she just saw that the place was clear a moment ago, she started to walk towards Shizune when she heard her cry out, a frightening look in her eye. Tsunade snapped her gaze back towards what was behind her as she saw the clouds above her brimming with electricity. However, this wasn't any normal electricity. It was gold. Golden electricity started raining down from the heavens, striking the ground. Tsunade was taken aback by this occurrence. However, before she could make another move, Tsunade saw what she heard. She glanced upwards. She had no time to evade this. She was hit by the full dose of the golden lightning. Her whole body was illuminated. The ground exploded upward as well. Shizune had to cover her eyes as she was almost blinded. The moment the light died down, Shizune ran as fast as she could possibly run as she arrived towards the epicenter of the crash to see her master. However, what Shizune saw was not what she was expecting. She was confused. She stepped forward, reaching towards her master only to pull back her hand as she was zapped. Golden lightning was traveling all over Tsunade's body. However, the strange thing about it was, she was unharmed. Not a single burn mark. She seemed to be unconscious, but yet, there was not even a single mark on her. Shizune was confused, but she had to get her inside to check up on her. As she reached forward, her body was no longer electric. Time skip. Tsunade found herself in a strange place. The moment she did, she was sure that she was dreaming. There was no ceiling. There was no floor. There was no left, no right. Just existence. It was strange. A feeling that she never experienced before. It was weird and a bit uncomfortable. But she was sure that it was a dream. That is when she heard someone. The voice, as clear as day. He will be the savior. He shall be the one to stop them all. And you are the one that is destined to guide him on his path into the man that he will become. Watch over him. Keep him safe until he is ready to show this universe what he is capable of. To purify. To wipe the slate clean. To protect. A warning though. Emotions are key. Unlike any, his is far greater than all. Do not allow him to be tempted. Lead him in the right path. Otherwise, everything as it is known will cease to exist. And just like that, she woke up. As Shizune was right by her side. Tsunade-sama, you're awake. Tsunade groaned as she rubbed her forehead. As she looked at Shizune. I was so worried, Shizune said. After bringing her back, there seemed to be nothing wrong with her, but she just wouldn't wake up. Shizune was so worried as she hugged her tightly. Shizune, I think I'm pregnant. Shizune pulled back, looking at her with utter shock and confusion. Time skip. She was right. Yes, she was right. After checking 3 times to make sure that she was not going crazy, Shizune confirmed that she was absolutely right. However, she couldn't quite understand how was that possible. After all, given their activities over the past couple of years, it didn't make sense at all. Tsunade told her what happened. As Shizune was disbelief at first, not quite understanding how would that be possible. However, Tsunade recalled what she heard in that strange dream. She remembered everything quite clearly. She was gifted with a miracle child. Shizune could not tell her that she was wrong after all. She was indeed pregnant with a child from the gods. And just like that, months went by. It was normal. Tsunade had helped multiple ladies give birth and checking the progress of their pregnancy. So everything was normal. There was no oddities, everything was normal. Given her age, everything went by smoothly. And when the time finally came, it was as she expected. Throughout all of this, she was happy but also worried, thinking that something bad might happen in the end. Shizune was thinking the same thing. However, she was the one there to help Tsunade give birth. The cry of a newborn baby could be heard. However, what followed was something abnormal outside. The entire earth itself seemed to be still for a moment. And when he cried, the wind howled, vibrations went through the earth. It was like the earth was welcoming him here. Shizune handed over the baby boy to his mother. He had bright, golden hair. It was fiery. However, his eyes were the most peculiar. Tsunade was in awe, so was Shizune, as he opened his eyes. It was almost like she was looking at the sun, without any interference. His eyes were spectacular, like two balls of sun in both of his eye sockets, beaming back at her. He even stopped crying as he reached his tiny arms towards her face. At that moment, Tsunade knew that she would die for him. As she cried, yes, she cried. She couldn't believe that this was a reality after 9 long months. As Shizune stood by her side looking down towards the new baby boy. So have you decided about the name? Shizune asked. Tsunade smiled as she had an idea. She didn't know why, but she could not get this name off her head. It was also the only book that he ever wrote that was not perverted. And she always liked that name, but she never thought that she would be giving it to her own child. Ever. Time skip. Tsunade Senju was currently in an open field, as she had something tied to her wrist, a very strong binding that was attached to a ball, a normal sized football that she had in her hand, as she was holding it. However, it was much more dense and compact. She pulled her arm back as she threw, as the rope on her hand started to reel out. However, the person that she threw it towards ducked. Tsunade pulled on the rope as it came swinging back around. The person flipped. She caught the ball as she launched it back towards him. He ducked to the side. She pulled it back as she launched it. He threw himself to the right side. She pulled it back as she launched it. He leaped over it. That happened for a good minute as she kept on throwing the ball at high speed as it whipped through the air. However, a smile graced the individual face as she was throwing it towards. As he flipped in the air and landed, when she threw it this time, he leaped. He brought his hands forward and slammed his hands together. The ball was right in the center. It started to spin in his hand, showing the amount of force that she threw it with. As he held on to it tight, wincing a bit as he did, he finally was able to reduce the pressure. As he gripped it, he then tilted his body, just like his mother taught him, as he sent the chakra down to his feet to stabilize himself. The ground cracked slightly underneath him, as he then pushed the power up toward his hand, straightened his back and launched. The ball was sent towards Tsunade at high speeds. However, she held out her hand as the ball slammed right in her palm as she caught it. The child pouted on the other side. "That's not fair," he said. "After all of that, and you simply catch it with one arm like it was nothing." "Come on now, Naruto-kun. You know that you're gonna have to throw it a lot harder to be able to make me move," she said. "But it's good that you decide to take the initiative. It means that you're able to keep up with the speed that I'm throwing it. So, it's time that I increase the speed," she said. Naruto's eyes widened. "I'm sorry," he said to her. "I'm afraid that's not gonna change anything," as Tsunade launched it towards him. Moments later, Naruto was flat on his back. He was exhausted. He was 6 years old. One might ask, Putting a boy like that through such intense training for a 6-year-old might be dangerous, but he wasn't just any 6-year-old. He was Naruto Senju, son of Tsunade Senju, and Tsunade knew that he was meant to be great. When he had asked about his father, she decided not to lie to him. At first he did not believe her. He took a lot after her, personality-wise. However, big sister Shizune was there to back up the story. She was basically saying that he was a gift from Kami. Naruto was shocked. Because they were always on the move most times, he had came across several other kids his own age. And he had to say, they weren't that different from him. So he was confused what made him so special. His mother sat him down and told him that he was her special little boy. And soon enough, he would live up to his greatness, as she promised that to him. However, he could not understand what made him so special. Maybe it was his high chakra reserves. His mother told him that she was astonished. However, he was not quite sure what made it so special just because it was large. However, she told him that it was a good thing. And not to mention his control. Normally, people with such high amount of chakra did not have the control that he had at such a young age. However, once again it showed that he was very, very special. And he believed his mother and his sister, of course. As Naruto was lying there, something leaped on top of him and started to lick his face. As Naruto chuckled, as there was a pup on top of him. A silver pup. Not just any though. The strange pup seemed to be a mix, a hybrid between a dog and a wolf. Tsunade looked down towards the two of them with a smile on her face, as she remembered the day that Naruto brought him in. Flashback. Shizune and Tsunade was in the kitchen, as they were making some supper when Naruto came inside. "Mom! Big sister!" he yelled. "We're in the kitchen, Naruto-kun." As Naruto came in, he was 5 years old. As he came inside, something in his hand. That is when they heard it, a little chirp. They turned as they faced him. "Naruto? Where did you get that from?" Tsunade asked. "I found him alone in the woods nearby. He didn't seem to have a family or anyone else. I searched." As Naruto revealed the puppy that he had. Its fur was completely silver and its eyes was also silver as well. "Can I keep him, Mom?" Naruto asked. "Now, Naruto, having a dog is a big responsibility, and I don't think that you're old enough." Naruto quickly made a move that he knew that she would not be able to resist. He activated his most sacred and powerful jutsu, the puppy dog eyes jutsu. "Don't give me that look," said Tsunade. "You're too young to have a dog." As Naruto kept on giving it to her. "But please, Mom, I can't just leave him here alone. I promise I'll take care of him and make sure that he's well fed. Please," said Naruto. Tsunade has been through a lot. She has gone through a lot. She has done a lot. And yet, in front of those eyes, her willpower immediately evaporated. To make things worse, the puppy also started to give her the puppy dog eyes. Tsunade sighed as she lowered her head, making Shizune chuckle. It was a happy chuckle. "Promise me that you will take care of him." "I promise," said Naruto. "Alright, fine then. I'll run some checks on him, and you can keep him," she said. Naruto jumped up in joy, as the puppy also barked up in joy as well. Its little cute barks. End of flashback. In 1 year time, the dog has grown exponentially. Tsunade was not sure what kind of breed this dog was. It didn't seem to be any normal wolf or dog breed. The hybrid must have bring out some sort of traits that neither of the other possess. And it's also grown exponentially to the point where Tsunade was surprised. She was a doctor in all sense of the word, even veterinarian, but she was not as advanced as an expert would be. However, she could tell that this was not normal, but he was healthy, he was eating good. As she wondered if it was Naruto having the effect on the dog, she has noticed signs. Everywhere they went, if they would ever be near a forest, it would always be lush and wonderful, with Naruto nearby, as she wondered if it was the same thing with the dog as well. That is why he was growing so fast. Time skip. 4 years later. Naruto was making his way throughout the forest. As his mom and big sister had made their way in the town, they had been hired for a job. There were some people with some illness that they need to help. His mother had told him not to go too far. However, being the curious one that he was, the 10-year-old Naruto made his way. Whenever his mother and big sister do this, they would just take long and he didn't have anything to do, so he told them that he could stay by himself. He was a big boy now after all, he was 10 years old, and he was able to persuade them. So with that, he traversed himself throughout the forest. He had left Silver back home. Silver had just eaten, so Naruto didn't want to hassle him. As he made his way, he was wearing a dark green t-shirt with a Senju symbol on the back of it. He was wearing dark pants and sandals as well, with a water bottle in his hand. As he drank some of his water as he made his way through the forest, leaping over rocks, jumping from tree to tree. His mother has taught him a lot in the past couple of years. For one thing, he had great chakra control. He was able to complete the tree walking size in a few minutes. His mother told him that it was a rare thing to do. The water walking took him a bit longer though, 15 minutes tops. However, they said that was rare as well. But he guessed that he was just special. Naruto never let that go to his head though. His mother and sister always teach him how to be humble, and told him that the world was a very dangerous place, and he need to make sure that he can protect himself and the ones that he loved. That was something that he wanted to do as well, because he loved Silver, he loved his mother, and he loved his big sister. He loved all of them. He has met some friends along the way, through the several towns that he and his mother had been through. As he made his way far deeper than he shouldn't have gone, passing the borders, making his way, the forest was connected to the other, so Naruto didn't know that it was crossing over. At that same moment, a group from Kumo was traversing through the forest. However, they were in a hectic struggle. However, our main focus was on a blonde-haired girl. Her hair was not as bright as Naruto's. It was a dull blonde. She had dark eyes. She was dressed in a purple shirt with arm guards. There was a purple obi around her waist. She was wearing grey pants and sandals. As she was crouched down, sweat glistening off her forehead, holding up a kunai in her hand. Her name was Yujito. The 13-year-old girl was set to face off against a very dangerous man that she shouldn't be fighting at the moment. Across from her was a man known as Asahi. Asahi was a good 6 feet and 2 inches tall. He had muscles but not too much. His body was cloaked in a strange grey and black suit. It seemed strange, but it helped with his movement. He had 2 swords on his lower back and a strange dagger on his side. Asahi was a criminal from Kumo. However, things were not supposed to end up this way. Things went bad so quickly. Yujito and her team, another girl in her team known as Samui, and a boy known as C, along with her sensei known as Daisuke, was currently on a mission to gather some important documents. However, they were attacked by Asahi and his people. The group was forced to split as an explosion went off. The documents that they had could not fall in the hands of the enemy. And the bad thing was, Asahi had it. Yes, he had it. The other members were facing off against her team, but Asahi was the strongest one here. She could not allow him to escape, but she was just a genin. She was not able to muster enough power to take him down as she was. She was afraid that even with the limited amount of power that she had at her disposal, she will fail. She meant limited because her body was not able to supply and fully control the Tail Beast power yet. Since she was 5 years old, she has been training. Nothing too hectic, but the more she grew, the harder training got. She was the host of the Two-Tail Nibi, a tail beast, very powerful. However, unlike much of the other tail beasts, The Nibi was much more calmer, and besides, Yujito did not see it as a burden. She see it as a way to protect her village and hold a strong title within it. So the Nibi had warmed up to her. But despite the past trainings, she could not pull out the full power of the Nibi. And she was afraid, with the limited power that she could use, she would still fail here. This man was a great wanted criminal, feared for his speed, a combination of his lightning and wind manipulation, which made him extremely fast. As she looked over towards him, it just took him a minute and she was already in a bad condition, as she was afraid. She's never faced a foe like this before. However, she could not be afraid. She was fighting for her village here. She had to get back the documents. I gave you a chance to go and run away, but you still decide to hassle me. Fine then. Another dead Kumo shinobi on my record is not much. He moved. As she prepared herself, she spun around only for her body to fly right into a tree as she crashed into it. She felt pain course all the way through her. The next thing she knew, he was in front of her as he brought the weapon down to end her life, the dagger. However, before he could, he spun around and blocked a kick that actually pushed him away from her. Someone landed in front of her. It was a boy. A child. Asahi blinked. "Who are you?" he said, as he looked at Naruto. "That's not important. What is important is I can't allow you to do what you're about to do." As Naruto glanced towards the girl and her headband, his mother had told him everything that he needed to know. He knew the villages and he knew of Kumo, and he could tell that this girl was a shinobi of that village. However, this guy had no symbol over him, and he was just about to kill her. "Run away," Yujito said. "I don't know who you are, just run, or you will die." However, Naruto brought his hands up. "I'm afraid I can't do that," he said. "I don't know who you are either, but I can't just leave you here to die." After all, one look at this scene, I can tell that this guy is a bad guy, judging by that look on his face. "His ugly looking face," said Naruto. "What did you just say to me, you brat?" "You heard me. You're ugly," said Naruto. However, Asahi did not attack. "Are you trying to rile me up so I would attack you and do something foolish?" "I'm afraid I don't know what you're talking about," said Naruto. "Get out of here, kid," said Yujito, as she tried to get up. However, Asahi appeared in front of Naruto. "Time's up," he said as he swung his dagger. However, to his shock, Naruto dodged. "Whoa, that was close," said Naruto, as he lashed out with a punch, but Asahi jumped away. As he looked at the kid, surprised. "You dodged me." I must say, I wasn't expecting that. You're fast. And now I'm interested. Let's see if you can keep up with this." Naruto spun around as he twisted his head as Asahi fist passed where his head once was. Asahi then turned his hand as he tried to grab Naruto. However, Naruto jumped away, Yujito moving away as well, as the both of them landed close to each other. "You're back on your feet. That's good," said Naruto. "I told you to run. I know he's after the both of us. What were you thinking?" "Hey, I was protecting you," said Naruto. "I didn't ask for it," she said. "Well, you got it," said Naruto. However, on the inside, she was just worried. She didn't want a kid to die for her. She didn't want to drag a kid like this into something that was not meant for him. She could tell that he had some sort of ninja training, but he was just a kid. And she didn't want him to die because of her. However, he was so stubborn and he would not leave, despite her being ungrateful. Asahi appeared between them. Yujito crossed her guard. However, his fists, her hands trembled by the force. She slammed right into a tree as she broke through it this time. However, that gave Naruto the opportunity as he swung his fists. Asahi felt it. His whole body sensed danger as he jumped away. He landed in the tree, opposite away from Naruto. What the hell? His instincts had led him good over the years, but yet, his instinct just warned him that this kid would have done some serious damage to him if he got his hand on him. That couldn't be right. More and more you surprise me, you brat. I have no idea who you are, but I can tell you'll be a pain in the future. And considering that you're here trying to stop me and get involved for something that doesn't involve you, I figure I might spare the future headache. And do what? Said Naruto. Kill you. Naruto narrowed his eyes as sweat ran down his side of his head. He just saw what was happening and his legs leaped forward to protect the girl. But now, this guy was actually trying to kill him. And he started to feel fear as his legs skittered back slightly. Asahi appeared next to him. Naruto ducked, however the man brought his other feet up as he jumped. Unlike with his mother, this guy did not hold back in the slightest. As his heel slammed against Naruto's chin, Naruto's head snapped to the sky, blood leaving his mouth. Asahi then twisted and kicked Naruto in the back. Naruto was sent skipping across the ground as he slammed through a tree, breaking it down. Asahi then moved forward, but he had to jump back, as the ground in front of him was destroyed. Yujito, her body was now cloaked in blue chakra. I won't let you touch him, she said, growling at Asahi. What's this? He said in surprise. This power, this feeling. You're Kumo's Jinchuriki. He started to laugh, as he seemed to find this rather funny. It seems like I've been blessed with the opportunity here, and here I thought killing you was the right thing to do. Instead, you're coming with me. Like hell I will, she said as her nails extended. Be careful, kitten, she heard in her head. He's dangerous. Just buy some time until your sensei arrive. Your body can't handle strain for too long. I know. Yujito dodged as he attacked. However, despite her enhanced form, he was fast. Faster than her. Coating his fist in chakra, he slammed it in her ribs. She felt them crack. He uppercut her and he grabbed her leg and slammed her in the ground. She slammed her leg into his torso though, knocking him back as she slashed at his chest. However, he grabbed her wrist and flipped her over and drove her into the ground, destroying it. Now that he had her pinned, he brought his fist down. However, before he could hit her though, something came flying out of the foliage, crashing into his midsection head first, as Naruto had headbutted the guy in his stomach, throwing him off of her. He crashed through several trees before coming to a stop. Asahi trembled as he collapsed down to one knee. What the hell, he said, feeling great pain from that single headbutt. You are right, said Naruto, in front of Yujito, as he rubbed his head a bit. Damn it, you should have run away, she said. Nah, not my style, said Naruto. As that is when they felt it, a raw explosion of power. Asahi drew both of his blades. They were imbued with lightning chakra. He appeared in front of Naruto. Yujito grabbed his shirt and yanked him down as a blade sliced off some of his hair. Seeing his opportunity, seeing that he was falling, Naruto brought his heel up. However, Asahi vanished. Naruto tilted his head, thanking his mother for all the training as the blade tear some of his hair off once again. Asahi, missing with a slice, brought his fist down. Bam! A lightning-enhanced punch rocked across Naruto's face. Blood splattered from his mouth. As Naruto staggered back, his whole body trembling. However, Yujito was left free. She drove her heel into the back of his knee, trying to kick right through it. The moment he felt the force coming towards him, he twists and turned his leg, showing his impressive speed as he grabbed her leg, He yanked her forward before. He sliced right across her chest. The blade tore right through her cloak. She cried out as she was sent sailing across the ground. He did not do it too deep, however it still drew blood. Now he stood there in the center. Give up, brats. None of you stand a chance against me. However, Naruto did not fall, he was still standing. As he straightened himself up, feeling the tremors go away. What can I say? Giving up is not my thing. And if I do give up, you're gonna kill her. And I just can't allow you to do that. Fine then. You've sealed your fate, and now Asahi vanished. Naruto cried as he was sliced across the chest. He cried again as he was sliced across the back, slashed across his arm, slashed across his other arm. The electricity doing a number on him. No, said Yujito as she tried to get up, as her body was now feeling the effects of using the tail beast chakra. Don't, she said, as Naruto was screaming out in pain. Asahi then appeared in front of him as Naruto's head was down. He drove the blade forward. Naruto twisted his body at the last moment as it went right through his stomach area instead of his chest. Asahi looked down towards him. Stupid move. It will take longer for you to bleed out and die. I was going to give you a quick death. That is when Naruto's arm gripped his. Asahi blinked. What are you? Let go of me, he said. As Naruto looked up with a smile, blood coming from his mouth. I got you, he said. Yeah, you're faster than me, but I got you. And now that I do, I'll never let go. Naruto gripped into his flesh. Asahi winced in pain. He released the blade that was stuck in Naruto as he brought his other hand up. He slammed it against Naruto's face. Yet the boy did not falter, despite the blood, as Naruto clenched his other fist tight. That is when a strange golden glow started to overtake his hand. Asahi started to panic as he tried to make Naruto let him go. He drove his fist again, but this time Naruto ducked underneath it and lifted himself up with a tiny jump as he swung his fist forward with all of his might. He did everything his mother told him. However, he was unaware of the other power that was coursing through his fists, plus his chakra. Asahi's eyes went wide as he saw the tiny fist, yet the force behind it. Yujito's eyes went wide as it made contact. Boom! It slammed into his face with tremendous force, launching him backwards. Asahi's body fly through at least a dozen trees. However, something strange happened. Several of the trees, broken or torn out, rose up and caught him. They stopped him as the vines wrapped around his body, around his arms and legs. He looked forward as Naruto gripped the blade and tore it out of his guts. He staggered as he did so as he tossed it to the side. Naruto then ran, the golden aura covering his body. And now I'll finish this, said Naruto as he leaped. All the golden aura vanished immediately as it all went toward his hand that seemed to quadruple in size in front of Asahi's eyes. When Naruto made contact this time, the trees behind him and the ground was violently decimated. The whole place shook. Boom! As he released all that pent-up force and energy. Yujito, who was back on her feet, moved as best as she could towards the scene as she arrived to see Asahi's body face down in the ground. She was not sure if he was alive. She rushed towards a kid who had collapsed as well. She flipped him over. Are you alright? She said. However, he was unconscious. What's going on here? A voice said. She turned in her weakened state, a surprised look on her face as she saw none other than one of Asahi's accomplices. What the hell? Boss? The man said with a confused look. How the hell did you brats? It doesn't matter. I'll finish what he started. As he started to walk forward, Yujito got to her feet. I won't let you. Tuh. Big talk from a little brat. I'll go right through you, he said. However, the man felt an ominous presence. Yujito's eyes went wide. As she was looking behind him, he felt it. His whole body trembled. It felt like his very soul was being crushed under an unseen weight. The whole forest was quaking as a raw, raging power coursed through it. The man turned as he was face to face with a dog. But that was not the problem. Wait, was it a wolf? He thought to himself. However, the real problem was the person who was with the wolf. Before he could even utter a word, a fist crashed into his face. Its body was launched out of the forest. The super-powered punch from Tsunade Senju sent him sailing for miles. Tsunade wasted no time as she rushed towards her baby boy. When she got back and Silver was the only one there and she couldn't find Naruto. Silver was a smart hybrid. As she told him to find Naruto, he sniffed him out. And she came across this scene. Tsunade saw blood over him. She did not mind Yujito as she saw what happened. For a split second as her mind was already able to understand what was going on. And this girl was trying to protect her son. Naruto, she said, as there was clearly worried in her tone. Yujito was shocked. Of course she knew the legendary Sannin. Wait, this boy. Their hair color, not to mention the similarities. Was he? As Tsunade's hands instantly started to go green. However, something strange happened. Vines from the forest started to emerge. Tsunade blinked in shock and confusion as they start to surround Naruto's body. Her healing stopped as a golden glow came from them. It started to funnel into Naruto. Both of them stood there and watched as Naruto's wounds started to rapidly heal. In a matter of moments, he was completely healed. Like no damage was done to him. But he was still unconscious. She checked over him with her own abilities, and he was completely fine. She then turned towards Yujito. What happened? She said. She did not mean it to be so rough, but given the situation, her voice came off really dangerous. Yujito spilled. In the face of this woman, she told her what happened and how she was going to be killed. However, her son saved her. When she said son, the woman didn't bat her eye, so he was indeed her son. His name was Naruto Senju. She never knew that the great legendary medic had a son. Hearing what happened, Tsunade relaxed, and that this woman fought to protect Naruto. As she saw the man, if he wasn't already dead or unconscious, she would have cracked his skull open. As she saw that Yujito was still wounded, she offered to heal the girl, who thanked her. That is when her sensei arrived. Yujito quickly calmed him down and explained the situation about what is going on. Tsunade picked up her boy, as she thanked Yujito for stepping in and helping when she could. She then moved off, as the wolf followed behind. Wait, is that her son? Seed said, as he was surprised the legendary medic had a son. Time skip. Naruto slowly opened his eyes as he noticed a blonde hair. He reached over and petted it. As his mother stirred, she looked up. Naruto, as she hugged him. He didn't feel sore, he felt fine, as he remembered what happened. Wait, where is she? Is she okay? Said Naruto. You mean that girl? The one that you jumped in to protect? Yeah, said Naruto. Is she okay? Yes, she's fine. I healed her and sent them off their way. Oh, thank Kami. That is when he noticed the look that his mother was giving him. What's wrong? He said. I told you not to leave the premises, and you end up getting yourself almost killed. I'm disappointed in you. But Mom, I told you not to leave, she said. The next time I'm going somewhere, you're coming with me as well. No if or buts, alright? I'm sorry, said Naruto. I know you are, but you almost got yourself killed. You know you should not disobey my orders. But I had to, Mom, said Naruto. I'm sorry for leaving, but someone was in danger, and you raised me to help whenever I can. You do it every day, Mom. You're the world's greatest medic. You do the impossible, heal the sick. You help people. You told me that I was meant for greatness. I know that's a big expectation and you try to make sure. I don't have a lot on my shoulders, but I mean, look at what you do, Mom. You heal people. Your hands are God sent. So many places that we went, people see you as a deity. Someone that come and cure them from their illness or save their child. And seeing that girl in danger about to die, my body just reacted. My legs just moved on their own and I had to do something. So I'm sorry if you're upset, but I had to. I know I did bad by leaving, but I'm not sorry that I protected her. I'm not sorry that I got involved. And if you're still upset about that, Naruto lowered his head. He was pulled into a tight hug. Mom? As Tsunade hugged him. I'm sorry, she said. Yes, I'm upset that you left, even though I told you not to. But I can't fault you for helping. Your body moved on its own. You know what that is, she said, pulling back with a smile. It's a sign of a hero, moving in to help even though your mind doesn't think first. There's only a select few that has the instincts to do something like that, especially in a world like this. And you, my boy, have it. While I'm upset that you left without my permission, I can't fault you for protecting that girl. I would have done the same in your place, she said, as Naruto smiled at his mother. She hugged him once more, tears in her eyes when she saw him out there. She was so worried, but she was just glad that he was okay. So glad. Time skip. So you're telling me that Tsunade Senju, the legendary medic, has a son. The Senju bloodline will not die out with her. The Raikage was surprised to hear this piece of information. This was not something that he was expecting to overhear when they came back from their mission. Asahi was dead. The punch that Naruto gave him had killed him. Yes, but that wasn't any normal punch. The energy that Yujito felt was not chakra. She was not sure what it was, but it was far stronger and denser. And she told her leader what happened with the plants. The Raikage instantly understood what was going on. Well, in his mind he thought he knew. The boy had the Mokidan genes, and he had her legendary strength. Oh my god. That was another legendary ninja in the making, out in the wild. He was stuck with this news. They were the only ones that knew about it, seeing that Asahi and his people were dead. As he wondered what he should do with it. Time skip. Naruto was now 11 years old. He was in a garden. A garden meditating. His eyes were closed. His legs folded. The air blew gently around him. The soft grass underneath him was growing. As he meditated, his aura was golden, and it was fully visible to all around. Tsunade and Shizune felt completely peaceful and calm as they stood near him. Over to the side, Silver was also watching his master. Silver had grown once again, surprising all of them. He was large. If he stand on two legs, he was far taller than Naruto. His body had extended, his paws had gotten large, his nails to tear, his fangs to rip. As Naruto had trained with him, the dog had become a great protector, the dog-wolf hybrid. As Silver watched his master meditate. Throughout the year, Naruto was learning how better to meditate. However, whenever he did, the environment was affected by it. Trees blossom, the grass grew, the birds chirp, animals came out of the woodwork. It was like he was the embodiment of nature itself. However, he was far more, but they were not aware of that at the moment. The golden aura around him started to get thicker and thicker. His hair started to rise up and spike upwards. His body started to tremble with power, as it was being funneled in and out of the earth, pulling in towards him and expanded around him. As Naruto slowly opened his eyes, as he got to his feet, the aura seemed to just flourish even more. He could feel it rolling off his skin, going through his bones and twisting all around his body. It felt like he was connected with everything. As Naruto felt it, and he could also put it under his control even more. He deepened it, twisting it, bending it to his will. And that is when it happened. Markings start to appear over his body. Golden markings start to shine off his skin. However, the next moment, it was too much. The sensation as he released it. What was that, Naruto-kun? Tsunade asks. This strange energy. I can control it, said Naruto. I was wondering from day one if this was Senjutsu, she said. However, I've seen Senjutsu before, performed by my teammate, but this seems completely different. It's not like you're trying to absorb nature. It's like you're fusing completely with nature. What does that mean, said Naruto. I'm not sure myself. We're going to have to do some more research. And maybe get in contact with someone I haven't seen in some time, she said. Really? Who? My teammate, she said. Time skip. A few weeks pass. Tsunade took Naruto toward a special place. It was here her grandfather learned how to control his Mokidan ability with the monks, Buddhas. She arrived towards the location. The moment they saw Naruto, they took a shining to him. All the monks kept on saying that he was special. There was something inside of him, brewing, something that was so pure and so strong, an essence that they could feel. Through their years of meditation, they never felt someone so connected, someone so infused with this unknown element. This was definitely not Senjutsu. It was something far greater, something that they did not even know the full scope of. As Naruto was introduced to the head monk there, he sat down and spoke with him. As the head monk was pretty nice. He told Naruto that he was meant for greatness, just like what his mother said. With just one glance, the man was able to figure that there was something about him, something that would forever change this world as they know it. All of this was putting a lot of expectations on Naruto's shoulder. It wasn't that much pressuring, but what if he was involved in changing this world? Could he really do something like that? He was aware that he was special, but what was he truly capable of? The monks taught him how to truly meditate in a different state, how to truly bond and understand the emotions that he was feeling when connecting to this strange source of energy. They spent 2 weeks there. With that, they move on. As Naruto started to learn how to gather this strange force, but not just that, it stuck with him, bonding to him, and also the plants and trees and vines. They start to move to his will, under his control, under his influence. Tsunade was surprised by that point, as Naruto seemed to have inherited the Mokidan, but something much greater than what her grandfather possessed. But not only that, his control over water was strong as well. At first, Tsunade did not notice the great potency, but the more he grew, the stronger it got, which led her to believe that it would even surpass her granduncle. Control over the element. However, that was not all. Naruto had a great manipulation over air, unlike any that she's ever seen before. Tsunade decided to see what his element was as she finally got her hands on chakra paper. So I just have to pump my chakra into this. Tsunade nodded. If it splits, it is wind, which we already know that you have. If it crumbles, it is earth. If it burns, it is fire. If it gets soggy, it is water. If it crunkles, it is lightning. Alright, said Naruto. Tsunade expected to see earth, water, and wind. However, what happened was something that shocked her to her very core. Shizune couldn't believe it. Tsunade-sama. As Tsunade blinked as Naruto looked at them. Wait, does that mean... The paper had split into 5 pieces, showing wind. The first one burned, the second crinkle, the third crumbled away, the fourth got soggy. However, the last one, something abnormal happened. Golden cracks appeared in it before it dissolved into pieces and twist together like some kind of vortex, and then it ceased to exist. What's that one? Said Naruto. I'm afraid I have no idea, said Tsunade. That is not supposed to be part of the elements. However, given you, I'm not surprised that something abnormal happened. It's just something that we have to figure out. However, I don't think it's a bad thing. Whenever your golden aura came into play, it is a sign that you're getting stronger or tapping deeper into this unknown source of power. So yes, I believe it's a good thing. Well, I guess I'll just have to learn how to control it. Can I have one more paper? Said Naruto. Why? She said. It's for silver, said Naruto. Oh, I'm afraid that dogs don't have a fin, Naruto-kun. But Mom, said Naruto. As Tsunade sighed. And I'm telling you, you did not see his eyes sparkle like lightning. But I saw it, said Naruto. And why haven't any of us seen it? Only you. Well, I guess I was just in the right place at the right time. You don't believe me? Fine. Give me another paper and I'll prove it, said Naruto. Tsunade sighed. Of course the dog had a chakra system every living thing had, but they couldn't use it as humans. He might be stronger than any normal wolf or dogs, but he was unable to do what they do. Alright, fine, she said. Knock yourself out. But when you're wrong, I hope you understand that you're wrong, she said. He can be as stubborn, just like her. And when you're wrong, I hope you admit that you're wrong, said Naruto. You wanna bet? She said, crossing her arms. Yeah, let's bet, said Naruto. If I win, you teach me a super new awesome jutsu. And when I win, what do I get? She said. I'll name my first child, your grandchild, Tsunade. Tsunade smiled at that, as Shizune shook her head. This was not the first time that they were betting, and this was not the last. However, for him to come up with something like that, he was definitely her son, as they shook hands. Alright now, buddy, said Naruto. I want you to send your chakra into this. I know you can understand me because you're a smart boy. However, you're gonna have to do something different today and pump your chakra into this and see what element you got, okay? As Silver tilted his head, as Naruto placed the paper in his mouth. Don't eat it, okay? As a piece of the paper was hanging out. See? Nothing, said Tsunade. So, your first child would be named after me, she said. That is until they heard something as he turned. "What the hell?" said Snetty, as the paper in his mouth crinkled. "See, I told you, said Naruto as he jumped up and down. "Shizune, am I dreaming?" "No, Lady Snetty, you're not dreaming." Snetty looked at Silver. Was this a summoning animal? As she looked at the pup, she had checked day 1. And she checked again when he grew beyond his size. But he was just a hybrid wolf dog. And yet, he had a lightning affinity. He looked up towards her and barked, and his eyes sparkled. She looked back towards Naruto, who was giddy and dancing to himself. She hung her head in shame. "I should know better than to bet with you," she said. "He's always one lucky brat," she thought to herself as he danced and moved around her, a pep to his step. At Konoha, the village hidden within the leaf, Hiruzen and Sarutobi had just sent Jiraiya to go and find Snetty. For more than one reasons, but one of the main one was rumors started to spread that the legendary medic had a child. He was shocked to hear that, as he was not sure if it was true or not. Where these rumors came from, he did not know, as Jiraiya made his way off to find out what the hell is going on. But guys, it'll be end episode right here. If you want to see next part and do, like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification to stay posted. Remember, share to all of your friends in your social media platform. But I'm off for now. See you guys soon. Peace.